All right, here we are. We are going to make the box, and let's just kind of do a little go over. So this is our, what I'm calling the left cover. And the left cover, you see this is all, this isn't coming down. The right cover, the flaps go down, okay? So, all that stuff. Anywho, so we are going to, the lady I learned this from, I don't know, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There was like 20 small 1-inch strips of paper that we had to cut. And it was driving me crazy. So we are going to do it differently. I think it's going to work better. But I guess we will find that out, won't we? So anywho, whenever you see that we're doing things differently from one side to the next, this is just kind of a preview as to why we are doing it that way. Okay, so for this you are going to need, well, you don't have to. I am going to use 4 brads. I have picked out these little rose colored ones because it matches my paper, but again, this just kind of keeps it from, when I'm sliding it across, it's not going to get that paper all dirty. My table is so wobbly today. Sorry. Oh my gracious. Just kicking things, aren't I? There we go. Maybe. Well, that's how it's going to be. We're not going to do the shaker. I mean, you can do the shaker on the top. We are going to do an easel on the top. So we'll set this over to the side. And the first things we are going to need is 3 to 4 pieces of chipboard, because there is a lot of strong parts for this book. So first we have our spine, and it is 2.5 by 10 3/4. Okay, and we're going to put that up here in the middle. Then for the front cover, we have part A, which is 8 3/4 by 10 3/4. Then we have our edges. We need 2. This is going to be the top and the bottom of our lid. And they are 8 3/4 by 1. Okay, 2 of those. And then for our long side, it's going to go over here. We need, this would be C, and it is 10 3/4. I'm sorry, it is 1 by 10 3/4. And then for our back cover, we have A. These are not going to be the same size. We need the lid to be slightly larger than the bottom so that it will close properly. So back cover A is 8.5 by 10.5. We have our top and bottom parts, and they are 8.5 by 2.5, and there's 2 of those. I, of course, marked them wrong. They will be right when you get it. And then C, which is going to be our side part, is 2.5 by 10.5. Okay, we are not going to worry about. No, that's all we need for right now. Now for this, you are going to need 3 sheets of 12 by 12. So here are mine. Now remember this paper from Walmart? It's perforated at the top. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. That's fine. It's not going to be seen in this one. We may be able to do this with 2 pieces. No. Nope. So we're going to take our 1 piece, and we are going to center our spine. Okay, we're going to want it centered as best as we can, top to bottom. So I am actually what am I going to do? I'm going to find my center top to bottom. And it's not quite 6 because I have this perforated part. Okay, so there's my center. My center. Here. Okay, so there's my center of my paper. I'm going to find the center of my spine, and I will just line all of that fun stuff up. It got dirty. So hang on just a second, and I'll give you those measurements. That's not it. 5 3/8. Ish. Nope. All right. So approximately 5 3/8 from the bottom. And I'm getting ready to show you why I'm doing this. So here's my page. Now I can line my spine up, and I know that I may not be absolutely perfect, but I am damn close at being right in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to put my big thing of tape down. Okay. That looks good. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's doggone close. That gives us enough to fold over at the top. We don't need a whole bunch. Now, if you saw whenever I was gluing that down, I still had some space on the sides. I am going to shove some glue in there real quick because my tape did not go all the way. I did refill my glue since the last time we have seen each other. I don't know why I wait to do that because it actually makes it easier on my hands when it's fuller, but you know. It is what it is. All right, so we're going to make sure and smush and smooth all of that down. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to get out my little T. We need to space it. I wonder exactly how wide this is. I mean, it says 5 millimeters, but what does that do for us? It is 3/16 of an inch is what I usually leave between my front, my covers, and my spine. Now, this is smaller than this, okay? So this is where we're going to use this halfway mark again. So this is our back cover. We need to find our center, which is right at 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 up from the bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to mark it on both sides. 5 1/4, 5 1/4. Okay, pardon me. Pencil sharpener always sounds like it's trying to die. All right, before we do that, let's go ahead and get out our second piece, because I want this mark to be the same. Okay, so I am lining up my second piece to my first piece so I can mark where I decided that halfway mark was. Okay, I'm going to mark it on both sides of my sheet, and I will draw a line down the middle. It just helps when it comes time for centering things, especially since we're dealing with different sizes. Okay. So, and you'll see why we do that in just a minute. So I'm going to go ahead, put my T here, but I'm going to line up my lines. Pardon my head, sorry. Okay. So even though I'm not even here, I've got a space, but I am even here, and that's what we need. So I am going to go ahead put this down on here. You can use your glue, put down your tape. I will shove some glue in there. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. Oh, I'm a doofus. Okay. Now I'm going to line up that center line. And there she is. Oh, we did good. We did good, friends. And that is how we know we are lined up, even though they are two different heights, widths, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put some tape down here. I think that's too much for my 4-inch tape. So I will put 2. And I'll overlap it. There we go. Where's my big one? All right, so just to orient ourselves. It's our front spine. Here's our back cover. We've got our line, and it's down here as well. Boy, there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to peel off these pieces, and then we are going to line it up with the second sheet of paper that we put the line on. I'm not anticipating screwing it up, but I still might. All right. So, what I'm going to do now, there we go. Now I just need to line up, good Lord, this point with this point, okay? Line it up, follow it down the center. There we go. And there is our back half of the book. And we came out straight. That's very exciting. All right, let's do our front cover. Now these two are the same size, okay? So we don't have to worry all of that like we did this one. This was a, what, half an inch shorter. So we're going to put down some tape. Well, I guess that's where it's going. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and peel that up. Put my tea down. Okay. And stick that side down. Now, We Are Memory Keepers has these out now. Theirs are all in one piece, whereas mine are in two. Actually, I think I have like 4 pieces. This is for my corners. I bought this from a lady that lives nearby off of Etsy. And I've had this a good 1.5 years before We Are Memory Keepers came out with it. Now, if you've done more than one tutorial with me, you know that I love everything We Are Memory Keepers. But since I already have this, I have not bought what they have. So you can definitely get it from them. Somewhere I have a video where I say the name of the lady who I got this from. So I will try to look it up and put it in the comments below. Hopefully we're going to get this book done today. And tomorrow I'm just going to make a video that just says everything I have and where I got it from. So that should help, because I know I had a lot of questions about that stuff when I started, and I started with whatever I could get my hands on, and I did learn that a lot of things, it may cost more, but it is better quality. So I learned through trial and error that even though I love Walmart paper, I cannot use all the tools from Walmart because they will not always last and hold up the way I really need them to. So nope, I'm good there. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the tape on here, and then I'm going to add my 3rd sheet of 12 by 12, just like we did for the back. Oh, we'll fit. Okay. Ugh. Where's my thing? Oh. Sorry. Hang on, I need to put things back where they go so I can stop being quite so confused. What in the world? There we go. Okay. Basket of adhesive. Scissors. Don't need that. Okay, clear work area. All right, I'm going to put me some glue down right here because I do have a little bit of space. And since it is right there where the seam is, I absolutely want to make sure that everything is sticking. So, I'm going to take my bottom left point and line it up with this point. And then follow right along that seam. Okay, and then push down. And there is our cover. It's a big one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn that bad boy over. And we are going to work with the back side first, okay? So I'm gonna get my tea out again, and if you will remember, this is the side where they will fall down and lay. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll just, I'll show you. Just, I see it in my brain, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my tape, put it on the back. This is part C. All right, so it is 2.5 wide by 10.5 tall. Hold on, I need to put my measurements where I can see them. You're gonna, there we go. So I am going to go ahead and use this here because I need for this, just like we do on a hinge of a book, to be able to go up and down. So I'm going to put my spacer back there. And then I'm going to line that right up and lay it down. Just like that, my friends. Easy peasy, yes? By the time we're done, you're going to be like, why in the world have I not been making boxes all along? Okay, and now we are going to put this piece here. It is not going to go all the way up, and that is fine because we have another piece we're going to put on. So I am going to put this is 3/4 tape. I trust it. Oh, there's my handy dandy. There he is. So I'm going to put my T right here along C because I still need that space at the top. There we go. Let's see, can I can. I'm gonna line it up right there. All right, there's the top. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing down here at the bottom. Handy dandy. I love my handy dandy. Okay, lined up. We are even. Yes, we are. All right. So, first thing we are going to do is see now we will be able to push this up. So we're going to go ahead and train that way. And over here, we are going to snip. I'm snipping at an angle, okay? And since you can see I'm doing it upside down, it's not a scientific angle. It's just an angle. To the points is where we're going. I think I'm going to take you and make it to where we're closer. There we go. That might be easier for this part. And then we are going to do the same thing over here with our angle. Okay. So there's an angle. And here's an angle. And I'm going to tell you now, I'm winging this. By the way, I saw it in my brain. So if I screw up in a minute, I'm sorry. But I think I know what I'm doing. Okay. And then there is that piece. And then we're going to have this little flap that we're going to fold over down here. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because you don't want this part of your box to be seen. Oh, I'm sorry. See, now I think you're closer. I don't want this part of the box to be seen, the edges. We're getting ready to cover this up part. Whenever I was doing this for the black book, the other book in a box, there were still little parts that where you could see the brown chipboard, and I got a black Sharpie and I colored that part in so that nobody could see it. And nobody was none the wiser. It'll be easier with this because they're almost the same color. But if you are using a colored cardstock that does not match your chipboard, that is why we are doing these things right here. So I'm gonna just give it a little bit of glue. Okay. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing on this side, and then we're going to do it at the other end. Up there. And I want this folded over as tight as I can. Okay. So we're going to do that up here. I didn't say you could pop open. You stay shut. There. There's that one. And then we'll go over here. Fold it. I'm kind of pushing it so it'll stay down. All right. So there we have that part. Isn't this exciting? Now, for this part, I want to cut straight across, but only to here. Okay, only to that point. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Upside down. That's not good. Okay, so that I can pull this in to wrap this part. Okay, so we'll go ahead, put our glue down. Okay. there's that one. And we have this little part right here, and that's fine. So now we're going to do it down at this end. Oh. Making sure that it is as tight right here as it can be. Not for any reason other than it just makes it look sharp and professional, and I get all excited whenever I make a book for somebody and they say, yeah, but who made the like book part of it, like this part of it? And I say, I did. And they're like, there's no way you did that. I'm like, oh, but I did. I am that schnazzy. All right, so now we have this big part right here, and I got big plans for this big part. We are going to get a ruler, and I am going to cut in at a small angle, okay? Just kind of like this. I don't want to go in too much, but I want to go in a little bit. Okay, so I am actually going to just use my X-Acto knife. I know my big hand's in the way. I do not want it to go further than this piece. Okay, see where that ends? My angle does not need to go past that part. So let's go ahead and draw that down here. So what I am actually going to do is cut from this corner. Okay, this is the top. This is the bottom. Okay, I'm going to cut from here to here. Oh, that's a terribly wonky line. Hold on. Jeez Louise. Look at that. So there's my straight line. My straight line from this. So now I'm going to cut from this corner to this line that I just drew when I figured out how to do it straight. What am I hung up on? There we go. So I am just going to take my X-Acto knife . Let it go. There it goes. And now I am going to do the same thing over here. I did do this one straight. Heck of a deal. No, I didn't. Oh, for the love. All right. There we go. Now I'm going to go from this corner. Okay. We already folded that over to this line here that is even with this. Oh, ish. It's okay. Had a rogue cut line. And then we are going to fold this. Once I get this back over here. Again, we want that tight, tight. We are going to glue this straight down here. And see how we've wrapped this like a present? You are going to end up putting paper on the inside here and on the outside. So the fact that this cut line down here is not straight, and you can't see it anyway, is fine. So I am going to put this down. And I am using this tape because this is a big piece and it is going to try to pop up with my glue until it dries. So that's why I'm doing with this. I am going to move you out now just so it's a little bit easier. I'll move you back in. There we go. When we get to more intricate parts again. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. I will glue it, tape it down, and then I will finish it with glue. But I want to make sure that this stays really tight, and that's why I'm electing to use the tape. Okay. So there's that. And actually, I'm probably just going to put tape down right here. And then we will get us a score line right there. And then we are done with that part. So you can tape it, you can glue it. I would not recommend construction adhesive. Tried that once. It's actually how I knew I was going to marry my husband. I was doing something silly at my house and I got construction adhesive all over my hands and I could not get it off. We had only been out on, 2 or 3 dates. I had a little girl at home. It was 10 o'clock at night and I called him and I said, "Do you know how to get construction adhesive off your hands?" And he came over. This is how much of a gentleman I married. He came over. He cleaned my hands. He had not met my daughter yet because she didn't meet anybody. She never met anybody I dated. Robert was the first person she met, and that's because I was pretty certain we were going to get married. So he said, "Can I just peek in?" He just wanted to kind of see what she was looking like. And of course, she was asleep. Probably wanted to make sure I didn't have some googly-eyed child. And cleaned my hands, gave me a kiss, went back to his house. Like a perfect gentleman. And he's been rescuing me from my silly decisions ever since. And there we have, my friends, our flappy door. Flap, 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 flap. All right, so there's that. And I just simply push down on this with my bone folder. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Just like we do whenever we're doing our books. Just to help build that crease. I don't have any splitting. Oh, this is exciting. All right, so now we are going to need some cardstock. And these pieces are, what is this? This is the right side. Yeah, the back cover. So these are 8.5 long. So I cut some pieces, but I don't need all of them. I really just need one that is going to be the width of this. And if that's 8.5, there we go. So I'm just going to get a clean piece of cardstock. Okay. I'm going to flip this over for a moment. And I am going to end up putting this up here. And I'm going to do one at this end as well. So, go ahead and put down some tape. And again, you're thinking we've got all these lines and these seams. You're going to cover this part up with paper. So it is not something to worry about. Okay. And actually, I said we were going to do it one way. We're going to do it different. So here we have this. Okay. And instead of putting it up there, the 8.5, we're going to put it wide because we need to wrap our corners. Okay, so we're going to put that right there. Smooth it down. And now we're going to do the same thing here. Where's my handy dandy? It's my handy dandy. It's well loved. I've had this since 2011. And if you can see, oh, she's all wore out. She's not quite straight anymore, but she's my handy dandy. I've got other ones. I've got white ones and pink ones. But I go back to handy dandy. All right, so, and I'm sure I forgot to say it when we put the other one on. We just need to eyeball center it. It doesn't need to be exact because we're going to cut off those corners. So I'm just putting it on here. I just want to make sure I have stuff on the edges, flaps that are hanging off. Okay. All right, now we got a great big T. So let's go ahead and turn this over. And we are going to do just like we did with this one. So I'm going to cut right along, right to that point. Right to that point. Let go. And then I'm going to fold this over and glue it, tape it, whatever your hand just grab a hold of. That's what you can use. Okay. Smush, smush, smush. Now we've got two pieces here that we're putting together, and that's another one of those reasons why we want this to be extra tight. Okay, we've got those two pieces coming together. And I know this is seeming like a whole lot of work, but I promise you, this is already easier than the 20 different pieces and sizes of strips. And I wish then that I had the confidence I have now to look at something and go off and do it the way I think it needs to be done. Because my brain had a hard time understanding that. Hers didn't, and that's fine because her brain's the one that put it together. And everybody's brains are different, and they all work different. But it hurt my poor little pea brain. I could not figure out what in the world. All right, so I am going to just draw a line kind of in the middle of this piece. Okay, just like we did on the other one. Okay, now with my X-Acto knife, I'm going to go from that corner. Oh, hold on, I'm moving you in. Look away if you've got, issues. Let's see. There we go. So I'm going to go from this point to this point. Using every tool I've got today, it seems like. All right, there's that one. And then this one. Oh, way off, way off. Don't cut yourself. There we go. I was afraid I was going to cut myself. I think if I cut myself again, my husband was going to make me stop. But this one's finally healing. I know it doesn't look big, but it was an ordeal. Okie dokie. So, where's... Hold on, it's happening again. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and train this to go up and over. Okay. We should have done that straight. See that? Poop. We'll do something to fix that, but we'll do it right on this other side. Poop. Well, we almost did it perfect. Okay. Peel that. Go. And lay that right on over. Remember, as tight as your little fingers will let you do it. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and tape this part down. Tape it, glue it. Okay. So there is that. I'm just going to cut off this excess. All right. I think we're doing pretty good if we've only made one mistake. And we can fix those easy. So I've got that down. I'm going to take my big bone folder and I'm going to start pushing down in this crease. And when I'm pushing down, I'm lifting up my flap. And that's training that paper to go into that ditch. And there is our flap. Okay. Now down here, we're going to do better. Oops, sorry. So now I've flipped her upside down. I am still going to cut right here. Except now, instead of going in at the angle, we're going to go straight down, which is what I probably should have done here and at the other end. But like I said, kind of winging it, and my brain didn't think of that part. So, There's that. And there's that. So we're going to glue these bits. Push, push, push. Get that really good and tight. All right, same thing. Excellent, excellent. All right, so I'm going to put my tape. I'm going to put more down here. I'm going to put some glue just on this little bit that's hanging out. I'm not putting it down here in the gutter. That will happen when we're at the other end because we need this one to be able to move. Okay, I need to turn her again. Get that really good, crisp, tight fold. Yep, that's how we should have done the other sides. Poop. Well, I'm sorry, friends. So I got some tape hanging out down here. If I can't pull it off, an eraser will usually get that off. Sorry, you can't see right here. All right, I'm going to move you back out again. No, piss. There we are. All right, so I've pushed. I'm going to cut off this excess. All right, and now it is ready for us to start training our ditch, our fold. And there she is. So we have our book, our back cover, okay? Right here, we're going to have to make, and I really didn't want to do this, one strip to go here and one strip to go at least right here to cover up these exposed parts because I wasn't thinking. So we're going to do that, and then we'll end this video, and then the next video will be the other side, which should be a little faster. Nope. Okay. So I am just going to measure this. I'm going to measure it from this end to this end, which should be 10.5. Yeah, 10.5. This is what I didn't want to do. So in the tutorial where I learned this, you did a strip that was across the top to cover that part. You did a strip to attach it here, a strip to attach it here, and then strips to cover the sides. And it was too much for me. It shouldn't have been, but I was just overwhelmed. All right, so I'm going to do this by 2 inches. So this one is 2 by 10.5. And then I'm going to do another 2-inch strip that is going to be 8.5. Okay, so there's 2 by 8.5. I'll go over that again. I know I'm doing this quick, I'm sorry. All right, so I did a strip that is 2 inches by 10.5, 2 inches by 8.5, and now we're gonna score. I am scoring at 1 inch because they're 2 inches. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. I am going to use my 3/4 tape. I'm going to line the outside. Where's Handy Dandy? Okay. Handy dandy. I don't want tape in the center because I don't want it, if it thinks it needs to stay stuck down in the ditch, then we're going to always have a piece that wants to stay half up and half down. So that's why I am only putting this on the outsides. Oh, for the goodness. There we go. Gravy, gravy, gravy. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold. All right. Sorry. Oh my goodness. I am sorry. I'm moving you back in again. There we go. Okay. So we're taking our large strip and we are going to put it down right here. It's going to go right along the sides and nobody will ever be, they will be none the wiser, because we're going to have paper here and paper here. So let it go. I'm going to go ahead and hold this up. I'm putting this right there in that ditch. Okay, and I'm pushing it down. Now, for this next part, I'm not going to hold it up. I'm going to leave it laying down. Okay, so we're even here, we're even here. Nobody can see. And we're going to train that just like we did the other. Okay, now we're good. Same thing. Fold this up. Line it up on the sides. So I'm lining up the non-taped side. And then I will push the taped part down. Okay. Now I'm going to lay this down. Push that part down. And the same thing. Push and train in that ditch. All right, my friends. Oh my gosh, we've done it. We've done it, we've done it, we've done it. Okay, I'm going to sign off on this one, and I will see you for this side, which should go smoother because we don't need things to be movable on this side. Bye.